everybody. Today we are going to read Extra Yarn.
Yep, today we are going to read Extra Yarn. All right. On a cold afternoon in a cold little town where everywhere you looked was either the white of snow or the black of soot from chimneys, Annabelle found a box filled with yarn of every color.
That's so fun. Right, guys?
So she went home and knit herself a sweater.
Ooh.
And when Annabelle was done, she had some extra yarn. So she knit a sweater for Mars, too. But there was still extra yarn.
Ooh, that's funny.
And when Annabelle and Mars went for a walk, Nate pointed and laughed and said, "You two look ridiculous." "You're just jealous," said Annabelle. "No, I'm not." How mean is Nate?
He's so mean. He's probably the meanest human.
But it turned out he was. And even after she'd made a sweater for Nate and his dog and for herself and for Mars, she still had extra yarn.
Why does she have so much yarn?
At school, Annabelle's classmates could not stop talking about her sweater. "Quiet!" shouted Mr. Norman. "Quiet, everyone! Annabelle, that sweater of yours is a terrible distraction. I cannot teach with everyone turning around to look at you." "Then I'll knit one for everyone," Annabelle said, "so they won't have to turn around." "Impossible," said Mr. Norman. "You can't."
Well, yes, she can. We can tell you that.
But it turned out she could, and she did, even for Mr. Norman. And when she was done, Annabelle still had extra yarn.
Cool. That is so funny, I can tell you guys.
So she knit sweaters for her mom and dad, and for Mr. Pendleton, and Miss Pendleton, and Dr. Palmer, and for little Louis.
Any left? Please tell me if there's any left.
She made sweaters for everyone, except Mr. Crabtree, who never wore sweaters, or even long pants, and who would stand in his shorts with the snow up to his knees. "No sweater for me, thanks," said Mr. Crabtree. So she made Mr. Crabtree a hat, and even then, Annabelle still had extra yarn.
Why does she have so much yarn?
There's Mr. Crabtree and his hat. She made sweaters for all the dogs and all the cats and for all the other animals, too. Soon, people thought, Annabelle will run out of yarn. But it turned out she didn't, so Annabelle made sweaters for things that didn't even wear sweaters. That's called yarn bombing. Things began to change in that little town. See how bright it's getting?
Maybe she found magic yarn.
News spread of this remarkable girl who never ran out of yarn, and people came to visit her from around the world to see all the sweaters and to shake Annabelle's hand. One day, an archduke, who was very fond of clothes, sailed across the sea and demanded to see Annabelle.
Ooh, that's not very nice.
"Little girl," said the archduke, "I would like to buy that miraculous box of yarn, and I'm willing to offer you $1 million. "No, thank you," said Annabelle, who was knitting a sweater for a pickup truck. The archduke's mustache twitched. "2 million, he said. Annabelle shook her head. "No, thanks." "10 million, shouted the archduke. "Take it or leave it." "Leave it," said Annabelle. "I won't sell the yarn." And she didn't. So that night, the archduke hired 3 robbers to break into Annabelle's house, and they stole the box and took it to the archduke, who set off across the snow and sailed up over the sea.
I'm so sad when she wakes up.
Back to his castle. The archduke put on his favorite song and sat in his best chair. Then he took out the box, and he lifted the lid, and he looked inside.
And hope that there's nothing.
His mustache quivered. It shivered. It trembled. The archduke hurled the box out of the window and shouted, "Little girl, I curse you with my family's curse. You will never be happy again." But, and if you can see When he threw the box, it landed on ice and broke off, and it starts sailing down the sea.
Back home.
And there's Annabelle. She collects the box, brings it back up on dry land. And it turned out, remember the last thing he said is, "You'll never be happy again." And it turned out she was. And that is the end of more yarn. You can see that she made more sweaters for the cats and the trees. Extra yarn. So there you go, everybody. I hope you're doing well and that you enjoyed the weather we've had for the past few days.
I hope that you liked the story, everybody.
Yes, we hope you like the story and that you stay warm and don't get too much snow on Friday.
And do not get coronavirus.
Yep. Okay. Everyone take care. Thank you. Bye.